Good morning, and you are most welcome to Kingdom Touch this morning. This is your host, the Ambassador, Trokon Jackson. Today, our topic is this one thing. This one thing. And our text is taken from the book of Psalm 27, verse 4. Psalm David said, "One thing I have asked of the Lord. One thing I have asked of the Lord." If we also look at Philippians chapter 3, 13 to 14, you hear the Apostle Paul says, "One thing I do. One thing I do." Psalm David said in Psalm 27, verse 4, "One thing I have desire from the Lord." The Apostle Paul said in Philippians chapter 3, 13 to 14, "One thing I do." But we want to focus on Luke chapter 10, beginning verses 38. Now it came to pass, as they went, that they entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, "Lord, dost thou not care that my sister had left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me." And Jesus answered and said unto her, "Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary had chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her. But one thing is needful." We are speaking to you on the theme, this one thing. As we started the year, we do know that many of us have planned our agenda as a family, have agenda for the ministry, our church, have our agenda at the offices for our personal life. So we set various agenda, and many of us now are cumbersome like matter after many things. Things are running through our mind like, how am I going to pay my fees? How am I going to pay my rental? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get transportation? How am I going to feed myself this year? How am I going to advance myself in other projects I have decided to do? We are cumbersome after many things. But as I read through the Bible, there are people who achieve many things, but their focus were on one thing. Like Psalm David said, "One thing I have asked." One thing. Psalm David achieved many things in the Bible, but in the book of Psalm 27, verse 4, he said, "This one thing I have asked of the Lord, to be in his presence." The Apostle Paul wrote almost the entire New Testament, and he said, "One thing I do." Jesus was speaking to Martha, and he responded to her is that you are cumbersome, you are troubled after many things. Brethren, if we must be able to achieve all our goals this year, there is one thing we need to do, and to sit at the feet of Jesus, to remain in the presence of Jesus, to seek the face of Jesus, to read the word of Jesus, to allow the word of God to root deep down in our heart. He said to Martha, "You are troubled after many things." Martha, Martha. He called her name twice. He said, "You are cumbered about much serving. You are just tossed around about pleasing the Lord. He said, for your sister have chosen the good path. She said, there's only one thing that is needful. How many things Martha wanted to do? Many things. How many things Jesus said were needful? One thing. To sit at the feet of Jesus and hear his voice. Because when Jesus says, speak to you, and his hands is upon you, and you seek his face sincerely, with all diligence this year, you will achieve many things. But there is one thing that you must focus on, is seeking the face of God. Brethren, I have come to encourage you this morning. And I have come to challenge you this morning. And there is one thing that is extremely needful. And there is one thing we need to do this year. If we want the hands of God to be upon our life, if we want to achieve our goals, our vision, and our aspiration, if we want to be able to improve our intimacy with God this year, there is one thing we must do, is to sit at the feet of Jesus and hear his word. God is still speaking to people today, but we are so busy and we cannot hear him. We keep running around. We are coming up about many things. He says to me, sit at my feet and I will meet you. It is my prayer that this year, one thing you do is to seek the face of the Lord, to sit at his feet and to hear his word. God bless you this morning. And this is the humble servant, the ambassador, Trokon Jackson.